Every culture worships the future. Every society, every religion, every ideology whispers the same promise. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow you will be happy. Tomorrow justice will arrive. Tomorrow salvation will come. Tomorrow you will finally live. And so you obey, you sacrifice, you postpone your hunger, you endure humiliation, you bow your head, you work yourself into dust, all because of tomorrow. Tomorrow is the invisible God, the altar on which your present is sacrificed. But Nietzsche, and every dark philosopher who dared to speak truth, would laugh at this altar. Because the future is not salvation. The future is the greatest illusion humanity ever created. Why? Because the future does not exist. It has never existed. It never will exist. There is only the present, this fragile, fleeting, merciless moment. And yet, entire civilizations have enslaved themselves to the fantasy of tomorrow. The priests tell you to suffer today, so you may be rewarded in paradise tomorrow. The politicians tell you to obey today, so you may prosper tomorrow. The corporations tell you to consume today, so you may feel satisfied tomorrow. The future is the carrot dangling in front of the herd, and humanity has been chasing it for thousands of years without ever tasting it. This is the death of tomorrow, to recognize that it was never real, to see that your worship of the future is not faith, but slavery, to understand that every promise of tomorrow is a weapon designed to keep you obedient today. Look around. Do you see how the future rules you? You save for it. You starve for it. You compromise for it. You sell your present for a vision that may never arrive. You call this prudence, responsibility, maturity. But what it really is, when stripped of its mask, is fear. Fear of living now. Fear of wasting now. Fear of embracing what is, so you cling to what might be. And when you cling to what might be, you are no longer living. You are rehearsing for a life that never comes. Nietzsche despised this. He warned against those who poison the present with the myth of tomorrow. He called them life deniers, preachers of another world, slaves of an illusion. For Nietzsche, the only affirmation of life is to say yes to this moment, not to a tomorrow that never arrives. The strong embrace now. The weak worship tomorrow. But here's the truth no one dares to admit. The future is not simply an illusion, it is a trap. Because the future can never arrive. When it does, it is no longer future, but present. And the present, the moment you inhabit, never looks like the dream you sacrificed for. You starved yourself for success, and when it comes, you discover it tastes like dust. You endured for love, and when it arrives, it does not match the fantasy you rehearsed. You prayed for salvation, and when tomorrow came, it was just another day of pain. The future is always better in imagination than in reality. That is why it is useful to those who rule you, because it keeps you chasing shadows. Consider the worker who drags himself through 40 years of labor, told that retirement will be his reward. He dreams of freedom, of peace, of happiness. But when the day comes, he is old, his body broken, his time already gone. He realizes too late that the reward was an illusion, or the believer who spends his life on his knees, told that paradise awaits. He dies, and there is only silence. Or the young student, told to sacrifice their youth for the promise of a stable future. Decades later, they realize the stable future is just another cage. The future is not salvation, the future is the bait. And yet, you still believe in it. You still tell yourself tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you will start living. Tomorrow you will stop being afraid. Tomorrow you will change. But every tomorrow becomes today, and every today you waste waiting for tomorrow. This is how lives vanish, not in catastrophe but in delay, not in explosions but in waiting. People do not die of hunger, they die of tomorrows. This is why Nietzsche's most radical command was to live as if you could embrace your life eternally, not because tomorrow would change, but because this moment was enough. His thought experiment of the eternal recurrence is the antidote to the illusion of the future. Imagine your life repeating endlessly, without escape, without tomorrow to save you. Could you affirm it? Could you embrace this moment, not as a means to something else, but as an end in itself? If not, you are still poisoned by tomorrow. The art of living without tomorrow is terrifying because it strips away every excuse. You can no longer say, "I will start later." You can no longer say, "One day I will be free." You must act now or never. You must affirm this life or lose it entirely. That is why people cling to the illusion of the future, because it allows them to postpone courage. It spares them the burden of acting today. But courage postponed is courage denied. Life postponed is life denied. Tomorrow is the most elegant prison ever designed, and its bars are invisible, which is why so many never notice them until it is too late. Ask yourself, what have you postponed for tomorrow? Your strength, your creation, your rebellion, your freedom? How many times have you said, "Not today, tomorrow I will begin"? And how many times did that tomorrow dissolve into another tomorrow until years passed and nothing changed? That is the price of worshiping the future. The death of tomorrow is liberation. To kill tomorrow is to be alive today. To stop sacrificing your life to the myth of a future that never comes. To act now, speak now, live now. To stop apologizing to your present self on behalf of your imaginary future self. To embrace reality as it is, without waiting for it to become something else. Comment below, do you live for now or do you live for tomorrow? Subscribe if you want to keep dismantling illusions. Share this with someone who says one day too often, and watch how fiercely they cling to their chains. Because the herd will always live for tomorrow, but you do not have to. If the future is the greatest illusion, then who built it? Who maintains it? Who whispers its promises into your ears from the cradle to the grave? The answer is simple and damning. Every system of power you have ever known depends on tomorrow to keep you obedient today. Religion, politics, economics, even family structures, they are all architects of tomorrow. They thrive on your sacrifice. They thrive on your waiting. They thrive on your worship of what is never real. Consider religion. For centuries, priests and prophets have declared that life on earth is preparation, not fulfillment. You are told to endure suffering, obey commandments, deny yourself pleasures, not because it makes life better now, but because tomorrow in another world you will be rewarded. Paradise, salvation, resurrection. These are tomorrows stretched to infinity. And what happens? Entire civilizations bow before the altar of tomorrow. They accept slavery, injustice, humiliation, all because they believe tomorrow will compensate them. And when they die, the silence of the grave swallows their faith. Tomorrow never arrives, but the illusion was effective because it kept them obedient while they were alive. Now consider politics. Every politician is a prophet of tomorrow. They speak of hope, of progress, of the better world that is just around the corner. Sacrifice today, they say, and tomorrow we will have justice. Obey now, and tomorrow we will have freedom. Pay your taxes, fight our wars, obey our laws, and tomorrow you will reap the benefits. But tomorrow never comes. There is always another election, another crisis, another promise. And while you wait, while you hope, while you sacrifice, the machinery of power feeds on your obedience. Economics is no different. Capitalism thrives on your worship of tomorrow. Work harder today, they tell you, so that one day you will be rich. Save now, invest now, sacrifice now, so that your future self will be free. But the future self never arrives. Inflation eats your savings. Crises destroy your security. Retirement is dangled like paradise after death. A reward you will never truly enjoy, because by the time it arrives, your youth is gone, your health is gone, Your time is gone. And yet billions accept this slavery because they believe in the myth of tomorrow. They call it prudence, responsibility. In truth, it is fear. Even family structures perpetuate the same lie. Parents tell their children, study now, obey now, sacrifice now, so you can have a better future. Teachers say the same. Employers repeat it. Generation after generation is raised in chains of delay, told that life will begin later, never now. And by the time later arrives, life has already passed. The graveyard is full of people who waited for tomorrow. The terrifying truth is this: the illusion of the future is the greatest instrument of control ever invented. Chains and whips can only enslave bodies, but tomorrow enslaves the mind. It makes you obey willingly. It makes you grateful for your chains. It makes you discipline yourself in the name of rewards that will never arrive. This is why every system of power depends on it. They do not care if tomorrow is real. They only care that you believe it. History is littered with examples. The medieval serf, told to endure hunger for a heavenly tomorrow. The soldier, told to die for a tomorrow of peace. The worker, told to break his body for a tomorrow of prosperity. The oppressed, told to remain patient for a tomorrow of justice. And always tomorrow is delayed. Always tomorrow is postponed. Always tomorrow is almost here. And when the promise collapses, when the lie becomes too obvious, the system reinvents a new tomorrow, a new illusion, a new altar. Even revolutions play this game. The oppressed overthrow the old regime, intoxicated by visions of tomorrow. But once they seize power, they use the same trick, promising the people a new dawn while demanding obedience today. The slogans change, the costumes change, but the structure remains. Tomorrow is always the bait. And now, in the modern world, the illusion has become even more sophisticated. Advertising whispers of products that will change your life tomorrow. Self-help gurus promise transformation if you follow their methods faithfully. Tomorrow. Tech companies sell you visions of a utopian future while extracting your attention and your data today. Politicians promise that climate change, inequality, war, corruption will all be solved tomorrow. Even in love, people cling to the fantasy that one day the right person will arrive, the one who will finally make life complete. Every corner of your existence is saturated with promises of tomorrow. And the cost? The death of today. You ignore what you have. You despise what you are. You sacrifice what is real for what is imagined. And when the imagined never arrives, you realize too late that your life was spent rehearsing for a play that was never performed. This is why Nietzsche's philosophy is dynamite. He did not offer another tomorrow. He did not comfort with promises of heaven or utopia. He offered the eternal recurrence, the demand to affirm your life as it is, to stop postponing it, to stop excusing it, to stop imagining salvation in a future that will never come. He forced you to confront the only reality that exists, now, and most people hate him for it, because they prefer the lie of tomorrow to the terror of today. But what if you killed tomorrow? What if you stopped sacrificing yourself to an illusion? What if you stopped postponing courage, creation, rebellion, freedom? What if you lived now, acted now, affirmed now? You would be free. Free from religion's promises, from politics' manipulations, from economics' deceptions, from families' demands. Free from the chains of waiting. Free to live without excuse. Of course, this terrifies the herd, because if people stopped believing in tomorrow, the entire machinery of control would collapse. Who would obey priests if paradise was exposed as a lie? Who would obey politicians if hope was revealed as bait? Who would obey bosses if retirement was shown as a cage? The herd depends on the dream of tomorrow, because without it, they would face the naked truth of today, and most cannot bear it. So ask yourself, do you want comfort or freedom? Do you want the lullaby of tomorrow or the hard clarity of today? Do you want to keep postponing your life until it vanishes? Or do you want to seize it before it dissolves into dust? Comment below. What tomorrows have you been sacrificing for? And what would your life look like if you stopped? Subscribe if you want to keep unmasking illusions. Share this with someone who says someday too often, and watch their discomfort when the mirror shatters. Because every chain you wear has a single inscription, tomorrow, and the only way to break it is to kill tomorrow before it kills you. You have seen how the future enslaves you. You have seen how religion, politics, economics, even love and family all use tomorrow as bait. You have seen how lives vanish, not in grand catastrophes, but in endless postponements. But now the question rises, sharp as a blade. If you kill tomorrow, how do you live? What remains when the altar of the future collapses? What remains when hope is burned to ash? At first, the answer feels unbearable. Without tomorrow, you lose the illusions that once sustained you. No paradise waiting after death. No promised justice after centuries of obedience. No guaranteed prosperity after decades of labor. No perfect love waiting in the distance. Without tomorrow, you are left naked before today. And today is merciless. Today does not wait. Today demands courage without the excuse of delay. This is why most cannot bear to kill tomorrow. They need the fantasy. They need the comfort. They would rather live rehearsing for a play that will never be staged than stand alone on the raw stage of now. That is why Nietzsche's lesson is reserved for the few who dare to affirm life without illusion, the few who would rather live one true moment than a lifetime of waiting. To live without tomorrow means to embrace what Nietzsche called the eternal recurrence. To live each day as if you would live it again eternally, without escape, without postponement. Not as preparation, not as rehearsal, but as reality itself. It is the demand that you affirm your life so fully that you would choose it again and again. This is not fantasy. This is not comfort. It is a test. Could you embrace this moment eternally? Or are you still waiting for another one to save you? Living without tomorrow means you must abandon the logic of delay. No more someday. No more one day I will change. No more when I am ready. The herd loves these phrases because they allow them to avoid action forever. But the death of tomorrow leaves no escape. You act now, or you never act. You live now, or you never live. This does not mean reckless indulgence. It does not mean destroying yourself in the flames of pleasure. That too is a worship of tomorrow, a hope that intoxication will save you from clarity. To live without tomorrow means to live deliberately, fiercely, intentionally, as if each act is already eternal. Every word you speak, every creation you attempt, every risk you take, every love you embrace, eternal. It means to stop wasting yourself on rehearsals and to begin living as if the stage is already lit, as if the curtain has already risen. And here is the paradox. When you kill tomorrow, you do not lose meaning. You create it. The future has always been the lie that pretends to carry meaning, but meaning is not given in tomorrow. Meaning is made now. You carve it into existence with your actions, your choices, your will. Without tomorrow, you become the author of your life, not the prisoner of promises. The death of tomorrow is the birth of freedom. Imagine what your life would look like if you lived this way. How many excuses would vanish? How many fears would dissolve? How much time would you stop wasting in obedience to systems that feed on your waiting? How much courage would awaken in you if you no longer believed in salvation later and demanded it now? You would become untouchable. No priest could terrify you with threats of hell. No politician could seduce you with promises of progress. No boss could enslave you with visions of retirement. You would see through them all because you would no longer believe in their tomorrow. This is why Nietzsche's philosophy is dynamite. It is not a new morality. It is not another promise. It is not another illusion. It is the destruction of tomorrow itself, the refusal to kneel before the greatest idol humanity ever built. It is a call to live dangerously, not because danger is glamorous, but because living itself is dangerous, and waiting for safety is the most certain death of all. The herd will never understand this. They will continue to sacrifice today for tomorrow, century after century, generation after generation. They will continue to raise children in chains of delay, to fill their churches with promises, to fill their parliaments with hope, to fill their advertisements with futures that never arrive. They will call you reckless, irresponsible, arrogant if you refuse their altar. But their insults are proof of your freedom. To reject tomorrow is to reject their prison, and prisoners always hate the free. So here is the manifesto. Kill tomorrow. Refuse to wait. Refuse to obey the priests of the future. Refuse to sacrifice your life on the altar of someday. Live now as if you would live it again eternally. Act now as if there is no second chance, because there isn't. Create your values now. Affirm your will now. Embrace your life now. Do not beg for salvation in the fog of tomorrow. Make your salvation today with your own hands, in your own life. This is not comfort, this is not hope, this is clarity, and clarity is the beginning of power. So comment below, what tomorrows have you been enslaved to, and what would your life look like if you killed them? Subscribe if you want to keep burning the illusions that enslave humanity. Share this with someone who always says, later, and watch their chains rattle when they realize tomorrow is already dead. Because tomorrow is the greatest illusion, and once you kill it, you will never be deceived again. The death of tomorrow is the birth of now, and now is all you ever had.